So today, Tony was with me. I wanted to catch a little bit of his real personality.
No, man, I'm all about the bounty of the sea. We have a lot to talk about, but I think it's the things we disagree about that are more fun. You know the whole thing about white wine and fish? It's a damnable lie. Red wine and fish is awesome.
I love red wine and fish.
Right, especially with octopus. One of the things I love about this dish is that it's really robust and it's got an almost inky color.
Okay, so let's move on. We have our octopus. I don't know what you want me to do.
Let's pack that up like that.
I'm your sous chef, but you're the chef, you have to cook, man. You learned that when you were in college, basically.
Yeah, summers, hanging around in Provincetown, working as a dishwasher, as a fry cook. You know, it was all about go to the beach during the day.
And you were having a good time and you were making some money and so on. But did you graduate first from college or you didn't?
I was a miserable student.
He has a lot of experience with interviews.
I'm a memoirist. If you ask me questions about me, chances are I've been asked that question recently.
And he has a way of expressing himself that sometimes hides the real Anthony Bourdain that he is.
I covered my shyness with a megalomania and an exhibitionism. Some might even call it psychotic behavior. I hated myself. I hated everybody else.
You were coming from a good family, right? I mean,
I grew up in like Leave It to Beaver, you know, it was suburbia. For whatever reason, I was an angry, maladjusted kid. I hated college, and this sort of outlaw, piratical attitude of the chefs appealed to me. If I showed up on time and I did a good job, I was rewarded. I had a real high opinion of myself at the time. I thought I was an experienced cook, and I shot my mouth off in front of a lot of more experienced and better cooks than me.
Yeah.
Basically, I got my ass kicked horribly and publicly, and I made a complete jackass out of myself in front of all of them. So really out of desire to avenge my humiliation, I went to the CIA.
You go to the CIA, and are you a good student?
Not only was I a pretty good student, I was working weekends in New York.
So you graduate with honors. After going to such a great, prestigious school, you don't go to a fine dining restaurant.
People were overly impressed with my degree. Life was easy, and I went for the money.
When do you start to have problems with drugs?
Any illusions I had about being the next Paul Bocuse, chances are there were chemicals involved in that. From age 13 or 14 on, me and my friends defined ourselves by not just what records we were listening to, but what drugs we were doing, okay? So I arrived in college at age 17, like, where's the coke and the acid?
And that was already fashionable?
No, we were sort of ahead of the curve on the cocaine thing. How spicy you want this?
For me, I like it spicy. I don't know for you.
If you want a flop sweat-inducing version, it'll take a heavy hit of, like, hot sauce, either Tabasco or the turkey.
So you're putting the cumin now, what, to toast it or to...
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's throw in our octopus.
The octopus in it.
And that'll cool down the pan considerably. Let's add some wine here.
That's it?
Yep. We can let that go for a little bit. In fact, we can even bring it down a little bit.
So you end up in Leal.
I hustled my way into chef's jobs very easily on the strength of a CIA degree and a couple of years kicking around New York. I ran a number of restaurants as a chef in a very sweet life, getting a lot of things that a young man traditionally likes. But among those things was, you know, a serious drug habit. There's a finite period of time you could do that. And of course, in the end, it caught up with me. I went into rehab. Then I came out of it with no career and started all over again. Line cook, oyster shucker, brunch cook, a line production guy in cellar catering houses, working under fake names as a Napoleon Bourdain for a while. It was a complicated thing, but such was the life. I slowly crawled my way back up to, if not the top, at least a position of authority. Okay, I'm gonna throw some octo stock in there now.
Go.
Here's the thing about octopus, you cook it for a while and it gets tougher and tougher and tougher, and then it reaches this point where it finally starts to get really tender. It's forgivable to overcook this. I wouldn't worry too much about 15 minutes, half an hour here or there.
When I was looking at him taking ownership of the kitchen, he's not as precise as myself, but I trust that it's gonna be good.
It was clear from the get-go, there shall be no competition between us by any metric. Eric's way, way up there, and I was very comfortably here. We can throw in the tomatoes now, actually.
The tomatoes now?
Just dump it right in there and give it a stir. In Kitchen Confidential, I jokingly said, as an example of my insignificance in the hierarchy of chefs, Eric Ripert will not be calling me up for recipe tips anytime soon. Cooking is hard. Writing.
Really? So you're a better writer than a cook?
Writing has brought me more rewards, let's put it that way. Listen, I was 44 years old when that book hit, so it was nice timing.
Did you feel relieved?
At first I thought I better keep my day job because this can't last. This can't possibly last. I could never actually make a living. Who gets to make a living writing?
TV Food Network came at you because of the book.
Yes.
So when you get the cook's tour, you have suddenly a presence on TV. And I remember a scene of you, I think is on that show, where you eat the heart of a cobra. They cut it open, give you the heart, it's like beating. You did that for what? For shock value?
I figured this is all going to end any minute. If I eat the live beating heart of a cobra, after it all goes wrong, I'll be sitting at a bar in a year and I'll be able to like coerce free drinks off the people by telling them the cobra story again. Say, hey buddy, let me tell you this story about the time I...
People like blood. I mean, the Romans were going to the circus and the Christians were eaten by the lion. They like exaggerated characters, and Anthony can be good at that. I find you very prolific in terms of like keeping busy, doing things all the time. Your mind never stops. I noticed that even today, I mean, I know you come back from the trip. I'm surprised to see you already tweeting, already writing. Do you let your mind rest a little bit sometimes?
Yeah, I do. I can pull a plug for a while. I'm pretty sure I'm capable of a vacation. I know how lucky I am. I just don't want to screw it up, man. Free time is bad for a person like me. You know, I shouldn't have a lot of free time.
But you don't.
Well, right, but I do that deliberately because if I had a lot of free time, I might revert to bad behaviors. You know, you get sleepy, get lazy, a little too much hammock time. Next thing you know, you're doing freebase like Charlie Sheen.
It's a fine line between the two Anthony Bourdains that we see. The Anthony we see today is the Anthony that I see all the time. On TV, he can show that in a bloody manner, in a sense, and be highly entertaining, and people could love that and laugh. You want to see my surprise?
Yeah.
Take the glasses and look what I have.
Oh, Lord.
I didn't tell you. Okay, we're gonna go.
You can't tell people about this stuff, man. It's too good. That is the most glorious bourbon on the face of the planet.
I think we have enough. You want an ice cube, a drop of water in it?
Possibly one ice cube helps it bloom a little bit. I
Okay.
think. One little.
One ice cube. Let me get it.
Some might find that a sin, but I think it helps.
Okay. One ice cube.
Oh, man.
And then you know what? The bottle is yours.
No way, dude.
Yeah, the bottle is yours. Seriously.
I'm pretty sure if there is a God, he wants us to drink this. Cheers.
To friendship. So, no reservations. From the season 1 until today, it has been, in my opinion, a great evolution.
If you're going to make TV, if you're going to do anything, it should be fun. I'm telling stories now. If you see it change over time, it's because you learn a few things along the way. You know, hopefully you get better, but you definitely change. Whether you're cooking or whether you're telling stories or writing or anything else, your interests change, you change, hopefully you learn. And I think the show reflects that.
I don't want to interrupt Tony, but I think
Yeah, we'll give it a little stir.
it starts to smell good. And
Yeah, we're ready
like
for the
it's
cod, I
really
think.
good. I think we're ready for the cod, right?
How the potatoes?
They're getting there. Okay. It's a fine line between the two Anthony Bourdains that we see. He will be unbearable, probably homeless somewhere, angry, getting drunk all night and then going back on TV, but that doesn't exist in real life. And also, you know, he has matured. He has accumulated some wisdom through his experiences in life.
Well, I'm not the Green Hornet, you know? I mean,
Are you a cranky guy? How do you wake up in the morning? And let's say before coffee and after coffee.
If I wake up first thing in the morning and I see my daughter first thing, I'm a happy guy.
Well, you don't see her much because you travel a lot.
Gee, thanks for pointing that out.
So
you're right, I'm a cranky, bitter
we'll
man.
take that out, guys. So you wake up, your daughter is there, you're happy. She's not there.
I'm at my smartest and most creative in the morning. As the day progresses, I get slower and stupider.
For meditation, you do meditation in the morning. For the ones who do meditation.
No, I don't
and so on,
meditate,
but
I fester.
What is fester?
Is sulking meditating?
You ruminate.
I'm ruminating. That would be a kind way.
Ruminating. Hey, I know that
Pondering
word. Let's see.
vengeance scenarios might be.
I'm excited. Look at the consistency.
Yeah.
The thickness cannot come only from the
I
potatoes.
told you, man,
I'm
this is some good
surprised.
stuff.
It's really good.
Let it sit overnight and then reheat tomorrow. It will be
It
so
will
much
be
better.
even better. You're back in America a lot. Thank God. You're still angry sometimes when someone is bullshitting. It's your nature. You cannot accept bullshit.
If you're abusing food that I love on TV, for instance, and lying about it and saying this is the way to do this, but in fact it's clearly not. If someone shows you it's perfectly okay after cooking the pasta to rinse it under cold water and hold this spaghetti till later, till your guests arrive, I'm angry now.
You're really, really upset about that?
It's killing me.
It's criminal.
It's almost criminal. It is not hard to do it the right way. In fact, it's easier to do it the right way. It's more fun to do it the right way.
Of course, yes.
There are plenty of reasons in this world we live in to take a shortcut. to save money, to try and save time. But it's those times when people just are begging you to murder a simple good thing, and then it's time to put on the cape.
Why do you get so mad at some of the people on TV? You go after them relentlessly.
I made a living for years making fun of poor Emerald.
You really go after them.
Maybe I'm having an internal argument with myself. When I see somebody, it's like, okay, you've already got the cookware and the crummy spice mix, and the branded knives and the aprons. Do you really need like mattresses, all-you-can-eat buffets, and a diabetes medication?
So we went to Bernardin. I mean, you brought Paula into the debate.
Maybe it's because it's an argument with myself. I'm saying, why can't I do that? Why can't I just endorse a whole bunch of cynical crap?
Is it a matter of integrity?
No, it's vanity on my part. I think I'm a sucker. At the end of the day, I will be crushed under the wheels of history, and they will go on selling their mattresses and their crummy spice mixes, and I will be a red smear on the highway of television.
On television, a show that it's purely entertaining and has nothing to do with the art of cooking, the passion of cooking, that irritates him a lot. So I was trying to understand why he's sometimes angry at certain programs and so on, without going into that guy, that woman is evil. And I think we did a pretty good job at that, although a couple of times the name of Paula came out.
All right, I think it's clam time.
Clam time? Okay.
Yeah. Let's see how many we got.
So that goes in our...
Okay.
Also, presentation is important.
Of course.
You like to go after the vegetarians.
You don't mind when you have a vegetarian come to your restaurant, right?
No, I
You're
don't
fully
mind.
prepared to accommodate them.
In my house, I don't mind either.
And in my house, not a problem.
I can cook spaghetti, pomodoro. It's vegetarian.
Actually, I'd like doing that.
Yes, of course.
Now, very late in life, I found myself fortunate enough to travel and see the world. And I've eaten a lot of things that have been among the most delicious and incredible of my life. And I've eaten a number of bad things. And I just feel that if you're going to somebody else's house, particularly in the developing world where they don't have a lot of food options, I think it's just simple good manners to display curiosity about the way people live and what they have to offer, and to accept what little, often, that they have to offer with an open heart and an open mind, in spite of your personal preferences. Here we go. Look at that color, right? I mean, it's...
That's it. I'm gonna slice some bread.
This dish was made to be mopped with a crust of bread. What the Italians call scarpetta at the end. You want to be dipping bread in there. Take a picture of that, my friend. I'm tweeting that shit, let me tell you. At the end of the Bond film, where they go inside the volcano, the giant secret lab. It's like that. It's really my only agenda. That's it. That's really as far as I want to go.